Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to another TA update. Today is the 26th of September 2022, and it's just coming up to 12:30 p.m. here in the UK. So I'm just going to double check everything's working, the audio and the video. So let me just check this. Everything seems to be all right. I think so. Jay is already in. Good day to you as well, mate. Or good evening to you. I think it's about 9-10 p.m. there. So, yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys may be. Let's crack straight on. Let's try and do this a quick one. So we start here with the heat map for the stock market, and you can see that the great majority of it is in the red. Even Disney and McDonald's are in the red. So there's no hope in hell that anybody's going to get a job outside of trading or in trading. So anyway, yeah, everything is in the red here on the stock market. On the cryptocurrency heat map, you can see that some of them are in the green, some of them are in neutral, some of them in the red. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but what is very clear is that there's definitely no reversal just yet. In terms of the calendar for the Forex Factory website of what's happening today and this week in the rest of the markets, you know, there's nothing really significant other than just loads of speaks, loads of talking going on. So obviously with the euro and the pound sterling being in free fall at the moment, and the dollar being on a rip to the upside, it does look like everything is coming down. And those of you who have been tethered up and that have not sort of bought anything, kind of made the best trade of the year, which is basically the US dollar is just really strong compared to every other coin. So being in tether was probably the best thing that you could have done this year. But anyway, regardless of that, what's happening this week is just you've got the FOMC member Mester is speaking. President Lagarde from the European Central Bank is talking as well. Bullard is speaking. Consumer confidence. Lagarde is speaking again. Bullard is speaking. The Federal Reserve Chair, Jay Powell, is also speaking on Wednesday at around about 3:15 here in the UK. So that's on Wednesday the 28th. And then there's just loads of talking going on until Friday the 30th, where we've got the CPI flash estimate for the euro, and we've also got the PCE price index happening for the US at 1:30 p.m. So again, nothing really that significant other than the fact that Jay Powell is talking on Tuesday, and then it was also talking on Wednesday, and then it's just loads of talking going on. So this could bring volatility in any of the days, especially if there's anything significant coming out of his mouth. But other than that, it's just the PCE on Friday. So with that, let's move on to the charts, and I'll start here with the S&P. And if you guys remember, I think a couple of weeks was the last time I did a TA update. I said that if we couldn't hold the price above this level here, right, which was about $4,000 points, that we would most definitely be going to new lows, or at least to 3,600, which is where this low volume node was. And that's exactly where we're at right now. Okay, so 3,668 points is where we're at. We've already been a little bit lower to 3,644. And I think this level will break sooner rather than later. If you look at all the VWAPs here, we're below the quarterly, we're below the monthly, and we're also below the weekly, as well, of course, the yearly. But yeah, there's no end in sight. The S&P is looking really, really weak at the moment, even though it does look like it wants to pump here on the weekly. But unless we break above that $4,000 level, 4,000 point level, I keep getting the dollars confused. I'm sorry about that. Unless we break above the previous week VWAP value, which is this value here, right? So above 3,600, so 3,700, going all the way to 3,900. Then we've still got that resistance at 4,000 points. So unless we actually get up there and get a little bit of a pump, there's not any signs of recovery just yet, okay? And then, of course, at 3,900 points, you can see here on the right-hand side, I've got the monthly VWAP there as well, which just so happens to be the value area low of the previous quarter VWAP. So, yeah, there's just a lot of bearish sentiment, and I don't think that it's going to change anytime soon, unless obviously Jay Powell comes with something really special. But of course, just looking here at the, I'm going to put this on the weekly. It is on the weekly, right? You can see that we're very close to this low volume node, right? So if we break below this, right, this is basically where the bottom is right now. Okay, you can see that this is also the value area high of the 2020 VWAP close here, right? And so if we break below this, then we're looking at this high volume cluster here. Breaking below 3,600 means almost certainly that we get accepted inside of this range here. And if we get accepted inside of this range, then the next level to watch out for will be this point of control at around about 3,370, and potentially going all the way back down to 3,200, which is where the 2020 VWAP close is, and also where this low volume node here is. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Will we get accepted inside of this? If we get accepted inside of this, then it's a very big trade to go all the way back down, and needless to say, everything will dump, including Bitcoin. So let's have a look at Bitcoin and see where we are. So you can see here on the top left is the yearly chart, the top right is the this is the yearly VWAP on the top left. It's a daily chart. On the 12-hour chart, which is on the top right, is the quarterly VWAP. On the bottom right is the 4-hour chart with the monthly VWAP, and on the bottom left is the 1-hour chart with the weekly VWAP. Okay, so let's just see where we are in terms of trade location, right? So obviously we're still below the value area low of the yearly VWAP here, okay? We've tried a couple of times here and here to get back above it, and both the times we failed. All right, so that's bearish on the higher time frames. On the 12-hour chart, the quarterly VWAP, you can see as well that we got rejected exactly here, which is basically the previous quarter value area low here. This is the previous quarter VWAP close. That was the value area high. And, we tried to come back up there again, and it was rejected almost to the dollar there. And we traveled all the way back down, and we're below the value area low here, right? So, and we've tried to get above it as well. We just couldn't do it, all right? So very, very bearish, even on the quarterly VWAP. On the monthly VWAP, you can see we got rejected here, which was basically what I just showed you on the quarterly and on the yearly VWAP, which is also the previous month value, the previous month VWAP close, right? We got rejected there. We've lost that value area, right? And since then we we're rotational inside the current month's developing VWAP, but we're still inside it, right? Because this is basically the parameters. But we're finding it difficult to get above this low volume node at 19,600, something like that, right? So still very bearish, and of course below the monthly VWAP. On the weekly VWAP, you can see that we've been rotating just inside this whole last week. We've been rotating inside of those two parameters there, right? So that's basically deviate above, go all the way back down, deviate below, go all the way back up, deviate above, come all the way back down, deviate below, we've gone all the way back up, and almost to the dollar, the previous value area high, the previous week value area high, we just got rejected there, and here we go all the way back to the bottom again. Okay, so in terms of the VWAPs, we're definitely bearish, okay? But if you want to buy Bitcoin, do you want to buy when it's going high, or do you want to go buy when it's going low, right? So the old adage or whatever you say it in English says that buy when there's blood on the streets. So maybe this is a good time to buy, right? I don't want to buy just here. I want to buy a little bit lower, but I'll get to that in just a second. So where am I looking to buy? Let's have a look at Exo charts for that, right? So we start here with the daily volume profile. I'm going to start on this. And I've already drawn these balance areas and these sort of like ranges, if you like, to decide where we want to go. Okay, so as long as we are inside, we just draw something. Okay, as long as we are inside this area here, right, we're going to be rotational inside of this, right? So ideally, I want to buy down here, or even where this naked point of control is, around about 17k, right? Of course, if the market rallies and gets back above 19,700, right, then that means we've entered a new balance area. Acceptance there means that we're almost certainly go all the way up here to take that naked point of control and to the other side of balance. Okay, so we've got two very clear balance areas here, somewhere between 17,500 and 19,500, and then above that 19,700 to $22,000. All right, so that's basically what I'm looking at in terms of the volume profile, right? So we've got a naked point of control here, we've got a naked point of control at the top here. So let's just see where we are right now. The only thing that is worrying me is that we've been kind of like at these lows here. It's been tapped that many times that eventually this is going to break, right? This is seen here, for example, on the 4-hour chart. Look how many times we've tapped this level here. So we're hovering at support, eventually this is going to break below, okay? Now the question is, will it break below and go straight back above? If it does, then it wants to go higher, right? If it doesn't, if it just keeps going lower, then it'll just go lower and go to those levels that I was showing you on exo charts, okay? But the I want you to pay attention here. Before I go on to exo charts, I just want you to pay attention to something here, very, very clear, right? I'm going to put this here so that you guys can see. If we actually sweep the lows here of support and get acceptance back above again, then we're likely to rally, right? Where are we likely to rally? Now, I'm looking at this monthly view app here, right? I'm looking at this trade location here, right? 19,750. If you look at this properly, you will see, let me just put a little trend line there. That you can see it in all the charts now, that it's very close right. The monthly view app is there, right? So it's very close to the value area low of the quarterly. It's the monthly view app, and it's also very close on the weekly here to the previous weekly value area low. So 19,700, and I'll show you this on exo charts, is a really important level. Okay, so if we can break above this, where do we go to next? Well, I'm looking at this level here, 20,700. Okay, 20,700, where I've just put that circle. It's very simply here on the monthly chart, the previous month value area low, right? You can see it right here. And it's also the previous week VWAP close. Additionally, if you look over to your right or to your top left, you can see that those circles that I've just put with the line across it and everything is also very close to the value area low of the yearly. So there's plenty of confluence at that level, 20,700. And of course, if we are rotational inside of that, then we can go a little bit higher, right? But with 21,600 or maybe even $22,000. Okay, $22,000. You can see it here on the monthly. It's basically where we got rejected there. Right, we got rejected here. It's basically this previous month VWAP close. All right, so the level that I'm looking at really, if we can get above this level here, 19,700, to start with, is around about 20,600, 20,700, right? This is an important level. You can see here, low volume area here. There's also the previous value area low of the month, right? It's a significant level. Break above that, then of course we're going to test these highs again here. And you can see here, there's a nice big 4-hour order block there that will likely cause resistance, and it has perfect confluence with that VWAP close. So that's where we could go if it is bullish and we go to the highs. However, I'm looking at this level here for shorts. Okay, so let's go back to EXO and I'll show you why. So again, we're looking at 19,700 and I'm looking at this level here. Okay, because even if we go up here, that's a new balance area. If we get rejected there, then we're likely to go all the way back down here. Right? But of course, if we come all the way up here, like I said before, and we find acceptance there, meaning a daily close or a 4-hour close above this, and we stay this, and now this here becomes support, then of course we're very likely to go all the way up to here and have a little short squeeze. Now, if you remember, the last short squeeze that we had was on the quarterly reset of the VWAPs. It was the 1st of June. On the 1st of June, all the VWAPs reset, the monthly, the weekly, and the quarterly. And of course, the quarterly was a massive one. When it reset, it just pumped everything, right? And we went from the lows all the way, I mean, when was it? 1st of June, let's have a look at that. May 30th, May 31st, 1st of June, right? It's about here. We just dumped, we were kind of like toying with the lows here, and then the market pumped from 28,700 to 32,450. Okay, this was a massive pump, right? And of course the market then came back down again, went back up again, took that naked point of control, and then continued the dump. But this was a short squeeze based on those VWAPs, right? So we don't want to be caught with our pants down. If the market's going to pump, it could be definitely pumping when the VWAPs reset. But again, let's just move on to the more sort of like local price action, right? And with that, what I'm going to show you here is the daily market profile. So what we've got up here is a 6-day composite value, which is this rectangle here, right? 6 days merged together gives me this range. We dropped from there, we market high, we went higher again, we came back down, completely ignored this. So I'm not really interested in this anymore. This one, however, was respected. This is a 10-day composite value, right? So this is all these 10 days merged together give me a value area, right? And we respected this for a while. It ranged here for a while. And then we lost it. And where we are right now, we've got 3, 6, 7 days, 8 days with today, composite value, right? And the value area high of this is 19,400, which is basically, we didn't even quite get there. We got to 19,300 and we dumped today, right? So let me just extend that a second so we can see the price action for today. Expand the clusters. This is what's happened today, right? What I'm looking at is getting out of this composite value, right? So again, the same thing as what we saw on the volume profile applies here. At these lows, yeah, potential scalp to go back to these highs here. We've got a poor high. We've got another poor high here, right? We've got some excess there, and I think we've got some more levels above. But more importantly, we've got a composite value area here, right? Sitting round about between 19,600 and 19,800. So again, 19,700. If we can break out of this range that we're in right now, right, and get back above 19,700, then we're likely to rotate back up again, right? And if we rotate back up, then we've got some more anomalies upstairs, right? We've got naked value area highs here, 2 of them. We've got some single prints here, 21,600 and to 22k, and of course we got a poor high here, around about 22,700, and the naked value area high. So again, 22,700. As the extreme high, we got a naked point of control of 23,400, etc. Right? But the key thing is that we are inside of this balance area here, and unless we break above this and manage to stay above 19,700, we've got no chance of going up there. If we break above here, then I'm going to take a long, because I think that even if we just rotate up to here, that's a good trade. And if we keep going, then we're going to take out all of these anomalies. Maybe even that naked point of control, right? So that's basically the line in the sand is 19,700. If we can break above that, then great. Targets to the downside. Well, I've put it in the dojo already. We've got the higher time frame charts on the TA updates that I did last week because I couldn't get to the video. I couldn't do a TA update. So we've got all the lower targets there as well. So you can look at those higher time frame charts and you can see the targets that I've put down to the downside, okay? But what is very clear is that we've got some very high volume here. Sorry, let me just take a paintbrush off and put this on the weekly chart there. you can see that we've got some significant high volume here, a high volume cluster. There's hardly any volume here, right? So if we lose this level here and it accelerates to the downside, especially if the S&P starts dumping, right, then it's very likely that we start dumping all the way down to $12,000. All right, I just have trouble because it's so obvious. I have trouble accepting that. I have trouble trading that because I think it's a little bit too obvious. I think a lot of people are looking at this level, okay? But of course, you know, potentially the volume profile is telling us, the chart is telling us that it's very likely that the market will go all the way back down to 12,000, okay? And you can see here, we've got the 2020 VWAP close there, previous level of resistance. It's not really been tested as support, so when it comes back down, it will be most likely acting as support, which is the edge of this high volume cluster. So, you know, if you're looking to add to your position in terms of spot, then 12,500 is potentially a very, very interesting area to buy, okay? But it really depends on what the macro is telling us and what the S&P does, all right? On the shorter time frames, like I said, I'm looking at this is a little bit too obvious, but the longer we hold on to support like this, the more likely it is that we fall down from it. So, you know, make of that what you will. I've got some targets to the downside, like I said, on the dojo, on the TA updates. I'm looking at these low volume nodes here, the high volume nodes within the low volume area, if you like. So those are potential areas for a bounce. I've already marked those out and put the chart in there. So go and look at that if you guys want to see sort of potential bounce areas, which is exactly why I called them on the chart. But on the higher time frame, then yes, of course, we're looking at $12,500 for a potential area to buy, okay? Of course, we're still inside of this high volume cluster here. And of course, we could carry on doing this, right? We could just, you know, big moves, right? But, you know, as long as we're inside of this, then, you know, buy at the lows, sell at the highs. It's as simple as that. But so that's why I gave you the more granular chart here on Exo charts, so that you can see what we're doing here, right? But yeah, here we are back at the lows again, right? So again, at these lows, it's a good scalp to be buying. At these highs here, 19,400, it's a good scalp to be short, right? There's potential that we go and take out these anomalies and go all the way to 19,700. And 19,700, again, we're looking for shorts because this is a big composite value area, right? Likely to be a short position. If, however, we get accepted above 19,700, then we're likely to rotate higher. And then we start looking at those levels that I was telling you, 20,200, and then maybe even higher. We'll just have to wait and see, okay? So, again, just bear in mind there's nothing else going on this week other than just talking. That's what's going on. That's just the Federal Reserve and all these people, the European Central Bank, they're just doing talks, perhaps to reassure investors and to reassure the hedge funds and everything else. So there could be some volatility, but the real volatility you want to look at is at the end of the month, which comes in about 5 days, okay? So on the 1st of October or on the last day of September, round about midnight, where the VWAP resets, we could see a nice little short squeeze happening, especially as everybody is eyeing up the 12K area. Everybody's looking at that $12,000 level, right? So we could see a very, very sharp short squeeze and see everybody squeeze to the maximum there, okay? So, you know, but we could also see this kind of setup, okay? We're in a long balance area. It sweeps the lows. Everybody thinks we're going lower, and then it squeezes everybody and we go much higher, right? So we could see a repeat happening here, right? We got a nice balance area. It goes a little bit below, goes to around about 17,500, whatever, right? Traps everybody short and then just squeezes everybody, and it goes all the way to the single prints here at 22K or whatever. So just bear that in mind, all right? So that's it for today. I hope you guys find this useful. And yeah, I'll try and be a little bit active in the group. But of course, I'm working all week, so I'll probably be away from the charts. So yeah, I just hope that this is useful and it helps you guys stay on the right side of the trades. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.